Today I'm going to show you how you can use Russian patterns even if you don't speak Russian. First of all, why bother at all? Why use Russian patterns if we have so many patterns in English or in other languages? Well, I'm going to show you something. This is Berda style website in Russian. And just check the prices. So that's 100 rubles, 100 rubley, which is roughly about £1 or €1. The patterns are cheap. The patterns are much cheaper, but we are not going to use Berda patterns. Well, you can if you want to. So I'm going to show you the websites that I use, that I like, that I've tried and tested. And I'm going to tell you about some others that I got to know thanks to Ksenia. I hope I'm saying that right. From Owl Laughing on Instagram. She's got the longest, the most comprehensive list of Russian pattern companies on her Instagram. I'm going to link her Instagram account below in the description box. First, some general notes. Sizes in Russian patterns are different. Always check the measurements. They look like EU sizes, European sizes, but they are smaller. So size 40 in Russian sizes would be the equivalent of size 32 or 34 in European sizes. So that would be the equivalent of size 6 in the UK, or I think size 2 in the States, I'm not sure. But always check your measurements. You usually get only one size, your size, very often in your height or in your height range, sometimes for your own individual measurements. Most patterns are drafted in CAD software. So if you like style arc patterns, for example, you will like these. Not all of them include seam allowances. For some it can be added for some extra charge, something like 50p. They tend to have 1 centimeter, 1/3 of an inch seam allowance. They have less ease than American or, well, Big Four pattern companies. They usually tell you how much ease there is for the bust, for the waist, for the hips. They give you the ease for each. The instructions, if they are translated, they are not perfect. Usually they are basic, brief, but most of them are really good, just very short. The problem is mainly with translation. Google Translate can help, but I wouldn't recommend the patterns for beginners because Google Translate is not perfect. Some of the websites are translated into English. I'm going to show you these as well, but the translation is not always that great. You can guess most things. So if you have some experience with patterns, with sewing, you shouldn't really have a problem. The main reason I use them is that I think they are generally an amazing value for money. They are really well drafted and well designed. You get one size, but it's very unlikely that the size that you get will not fit you. Well, don't cheat with your measurements. I've been talking to you, showing you Wiki Sews. That's probably the most popular Russian website with patterns in the UK because some vloggers have talked about it and some people started using the patterns. I'm going to show you how to translate the patterns. So let's go to this one. Got too many things open and it's not going to be very quick. But if you use Chrome as your browser, it translates every website automatically. But let's say that you use something that doesn't. I use Firefox, this one, right? And it doesn't. So I would have to right click on the 3 stripes here. I don't know how it's called, the menu section. And I would have to go to add-ons, click on add-ons and add Google Translate to that. I have already done it. And then every time you want to translate the website, what you do is click on Control, Shift, and 3 together. And it's translating. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And we've got the pattern translated. So we've got Marine's dress. The price is 1,500 rubles. And I'm not sure how to say rubles, which is about 150. So 115 pounds or euros because it's similar. And it's got quite a lot of information when you think about it. So it tells you what it is, asymmetric, small volume, fitted silhouette. So it's a fitted dress. You can guess the meaning even if it's not perfect. It tells you what the model size is, right? Then you've got the recommended fabric. Attention is sort of, well, it's important. And you can also check your measurements. So you can choose your height, You can choose your size, and Vicky shows use European sizes, so I would be 34 in European sizes, but not all of them do that. So you choose your size, you put it into the basket, you pay, and you print it off, and that's it. Easy. So let's say that I'm choosing my height, so I'm 1 meter 60 centimeters, 160 centimeters, which is 5'3" almost. And then my size is 34 European size, right? I'm putting that in the basket. I'm going to the basket, and it doesn't always do that on in the translated version. So I would have to go back to Vicky shows and do the same, now understanding what I'm doing, on the Russian website. So my height, my size, repeat, which is to buy in the basket, and now it's in my basket. So it takes a bit longer, but still, for 150, I think it's worth doing. Vicky shows is popular because it's quite clear, and the buttons are really modern. The buttons are cheap. The buttons are well drafted. The buttons are modern. She also has a YouTube channel, and she's got quite a few tutorials there. So it really helps. I think that the marketing side is definitely solid. So as you can see, she's got tutorials on YouTube, and that's all the social media. And let's have a look at the buttons. So we go to the Krojki, or, well, you can translate it. I prefer not to translate it because I've got too many websites open and it's going to be slow. So let's say that I want to check jackets. I go to jackets. I like, let's say, well, this one is quite unusual for 200 rubles and rubles, I don't know, rubles. So about £2. Is it in my size? It is indeed. So put it in the basket, and I've got 2 things in the basket, and I can pay. And her descriptions, when you translate them, her descriptions are really decent. Her instructions are also really good. I think there is nothing to complain about. And with the video instructions, so with her YouTube channel, you can definitely make the things. And I think the fit is great because they are drafted more for you. So if you are unusual, you will possibly have to adapt the buttons or adjust the buttons, but I'm not quite usual. I don't have a standard silhouette, so I don't think there is a huge problem. Okay, so let's say that we want to check dresses, because women tend to like dresses, don't we? And okay, so let's go to the dresses, and we can see a lot of nice dresses. I'm not sure if she's got some free buttons, but plenty of Russian websites have free buttons. And you've got a video tutorial for that, Right, okay. So that's the one that I have used. I've been happy, but quite a few people have used them. I think some people made tutorials about some of the buttons as well. I think Craftpreneur, it is a really cool name. She's made a tutorial for this one, for one of the dresses. Oh, no, this one, I think. I think this one is the one that Craftpreneur made a tutorial about. She's got a vlog on YouTube. Well, anyway, if you like anything, the prices are really, really low. The buttons are well drafted, so why not? I know that you would need to spend some time doing the translation, but again, let's say that I like this dress or whatever. Oh, that's free. So we've got a free button, right? Okay, and again, Control-Shift-3 on mine. But in yours, it might be automatically translated. I just don't really need that. And we've got all the description. So free, straight silhouette, sucking at the waist, so loose at the waist, not fitted. You can make it in 2 different fabric, knit, go away. So knit and tighter, more fitting footer, well, and something that has less stretch. The shape of the neckline is either a boat neck or off the shoulder, soft elastic seam, okay, stretchy seam, not elastic, whatever. And you've got the recommended fabric, so natural, cotton, wool, that's pretty warm, blends, synthetic, you need something that would be medium. So not very floaty, soft, stretchable, so with elastane. And you've got, check the stretch of knitted fabric. It's at least 25% as far as I can understand from that description. 1.5, so 50%. Yeah, no, 25, or whatever. And okay, how to choose the size, and we can go to the size chart, and it's pretty clear. The size chart is pretty good. So you've got the European sizes here. 34 is 84 for your bust, 60 centimeters, that's centimeters, so 80 centimeters bust, 60 centimeters waist, and then 86 for your hip. And the biggest size is 160 centimeters for your chest, so for your bust, waist 96 and hip 122. Not a huge range of sizes, but well, if you fit into the range, you are lucky. And I thought there were inches, but no, there are no inches here. How to measure yourself. Quite a lot of information, all in all. So how to measure yourself, right? The men's sizes, various options. If you have protruding belly or protruding behind, you can make some changes. Then you've got child sizes. Okay, well, you've got the idea, right? So quite a lot of information that is quite useful, especially if you use the website for the first time and you are not quite sure how to choose your size. Right, okay. Okay, that's Grasser, the next one. Grasser is definitely one of my favorites, and when I started sewing, I was using Grasser a lot. There are loads of buttons. Very professional looking website. The website is in English, so you don't really have to do much. The translation is not perfect, but it's not terribly bad. If you have some experience sewing your clothes, you shouldn't have any problems with guessing what they mean. The website is easy to navigate. You can pay with PayPal if that's something that is important for you. There are a lot of video tutorials. There are the newer patterns. There are step-by-step instructions provided for them. So step-by-step instructions are available for some. I don't remember where it is, but it says it somewhere. You can choose the ones that are more thorough, so the instructions are better. I'm not sure if that's necessary, but anyway, I do like Grasser patterns and they do fit me quite well. I think the older ones, when I started sewing and I was using the older ones, I had a problem. I wouldn't say a problem. I had a small issue with the fact that they were using photos that were from fashion magazines or from catwalks. So they were not their own samples. And first of all, it violates the copyright law in the EU, but Russia is not in the EU, so I'm not sure how it works there. But the issue I had was that if you look at something that is from a magazine or whatever on a model, not a sample sewn in their studio, you don't really know how the pattern will look like after being sewn. You've got the very, very fashionable color now that is free, and there was a dress that was free on the previous page. I'll show you again. There are quite a few free patterns. So this dress is free, 0 rubles. The patterns are slightly more expensive, but I suppose, well, you've got the price of the translation and more thorough instructions and better explanations for everything. So you can look at the drawings, no reviews, but sometimes you can see reviews or photos on Instagram of people who made their things. So you've got the size chart, and their size chart is quite good. Again, how to measure yourself. And in here, you've got the size 40 is more like size 6 in the UK, or even less than that. So 42 would be probably the standard size 6 in the UK. You've got 84 centimeters bust for 42, 63 centimeters waist, and 92 hips. The smallest size is 38, but it's 76 centimeters bust, so really small, 55 waist and 84 hips. And the biggest size for this pattern is 56, which is 112 for the bust, 94 for the waist, and 120 for the hips. Well, so Grasser is probably not the best company. It's not like size inclusive, but there are some companies that are. You can have plus sizes as well in some of the Russian pattern makers on some of the websites. So I like them. I think they are very modern, very interesting, very kind of trendy. They're also well drafted, full of details, really clear explanations. Maybe the explanations sometimes you can't get stuck. I like that. So let's say that we like this dress. It's very easy to buy as well. And you can print it on the A4, the big sheets of paper. You've got two versions, two options. One with the cutouts and one without. So more work friendly. And that's their own studio photo, which I like. So that's what they made, which is, I think, more helpful than just how it should look like on the model, but not quite made up. I can show you what I mean. Why I didn't really like at first I didn't really like the fact that they weren't making their own samples. So see, that's like catwalk. There are some branded products as well. I don't think we would be able to use something like that on our websites. But the patterns are really nice and they still recreate the look. The only thing is that recreating the look is not always precisely what we want. We just want to see how it looks when it's sewn, even by somebody who's got a lot of skills, but still it's better to compare something that is definitely made out of the pattern, not just something that is an ideal look for the pattern. Especially that, well, we don't look like, not everybody looks like models. I definitely don't look like models, so I would prefer to see it on more normal people. But the newer patterns are, well, sewn by them in their studio, so I definitely prefer them, because at least I know how they're going to look like, more or less, or how they should look like. But this is definitely one of my favorite websites. I find it quite easy to follow their instructions, and when I started, I couldn't sew, and I still could make dresser patterns, so they can't be that bad. Yes, I do understand Russian, but I was reading it in English. I don't think I knew that dresser was Russian. So loads and loads and loads, and I think you would never have to buy another pattern if you just use their website. And some are really cheap, like $3. So I don't know, £2 with a bit. They give you prices in dollars because they've got the English website. And there are some plus size models and plus size. Well, that's what I mean. See, this is a branded product, so this is Lacoste. And I know that it's very easy to recreate the look of a polo shirt, but they didn't make this shirt, did they? T-shirt. But, well, apart from that, they don't do it anymore. So I think people prefer to see something like that. So this is in their studio, and I prefer to see the look of a pregnant woman in the trousers. It's my dog. My dog is sneezing. I'm really sorry. But rather than that, so Nike leggings. I know how Nike leggings look like, but I don't know how Nike leggings would look from that pattern. But, well, you get the idea. I would definitely recommend this website because I think, first of all, you can try for free. They've got quite a few free patterns. There should be some free buttons. Free buttons are here, and there are 12 of them. So you've got the mask, the dress, the collar, and I think the collar is quite popular now. You've got the skirt, the mask, the jacket, another dress, quite a few dresses, and the skirt, top, and hood, just the hood, not the jacket. But why am I telling you that? That is in English, so you can see that. Okay, let's go to Lekala. Lekala is also in English. Lekala is not as good as Rasa with the marketing, so you can't see the photos. Sometimes you can see something that is, again, CAD generated, so software for drafting patterns generated. But Lekala is great because, first of all, it's inexpensive. It's got everything. But also, when you want to buy, that's probably free patterns. Okay, let's go to patterns. It's in English, so for women, and let's go to dresses. Let's see. They've got quite a few free patterns, and they've got a lot of free sleeves. Now let's just choose any pattern, and I'm going to show you what I mean, why I like Lekala patterns. Let's say that I'm choosing my height, then I'm choosing my bust. Let's say, I don't remember, 84. Then let's say the underbust, and again, I don't remember. My underbust was 74, let's say. Oh, yeah. Then my waist is 66. That's all in centimeters, but you can change it into inches. And then let's put my hip in. So let's put 80 centimeters because, you know, it's locked down and all that. That's not, sorry, 80 centimeters full hip. Well, my full hip would be 80 centimeters. So, okay, let's put 74 and 76 lockdown. Then let's put 80 as my full hip, right? And let's add the seam allowances for 50p. Oh, yeah, for 50 cents, sorry. And then add to cart. And you've got your pattern drafted for you. And they really, really fit. My problem is I always think that my area of worry is always my waist. So I always add a bit to my waist, thinking that if I get a pattern that is drafted for my measurements, it's going to be too small. Don't do that. It doesn't work. I have done it so many times. No. They really draft good patterns, so don't add anything or don't put your measurements that are slightly too small because it won't work. But if you put your measurements, they will add the ease that is okay for you. I wouldn't recommend cheating. This is, again, the website that I've been using loads, and I've always been very happy. They've got such a huge range of everything. Sometimes you kind of have to guess how it is going to look like on you. But I like the modern lines, and there are a lot of things for men, which I have been using quite a lot. A lot of patterns for men, because patterns for men are not always easy to find. And again, the price, you've got it in dollars, but it's about £3, so $3.49, less than £3. Brilliant. And I've made this dress recently, thanks to Shan from Kittenish Behavior, and I love it. Unfortunately, I added a bit to the waist, so it's not as A-line as here, because I was worried that if the waist is my normal waist, it is going to be too small. Don't do that. This is stupid, and I have no idea why I do that. Okay, let's move on to something else. La Forme. Oh, I love La Forme. This is one of my favorite fashion companies because they've got really classy, really modern, really elegant, really interesting, intricate details, patterns. So I just really like them. The patterns are slightly more expensive, but I suppose it's because they take a lot of time to prepare. But I just wanted to show you how it works. Okay, let's go to the first one. Doesn't matter. They have a free man shirt pattern, a dress shirt, but I don't know where it is. So you've got it immediately in English. You don't have to translate anything. You've got the difficulty level, you've got the size, and I think, again, describing the sizes is really good. I think Russians do it well. But again, you've got the 38 for Russian, so European sizes, that would be 32, and US 4, size 4. And the smallest size is for bust 76, waist 53, 55, and hips 84. And then size 56 Russian would be European 50 and US 22. I think it's slightly smaller than that, but okay. For bust 112 centimeters, waist up to 92 centimeters, and hips 120 centimeters. Nothing in inches? In inches. Here you go. So the smallest would be 30 inches for bust, waist 21, almost 22 inches, or very little inches. Then hips 33 inches, and the biggest size 56 or 50 or 22. The biggest size would be for bust 44 inches, for waist 36 inches, and hips 47.2 inches. So I'm not sure if it's 22 in the US, is it? Seems smaller than 22. But okay, whatever. You've got all the descriptions here, and I do like the buttons a lot. They might be not that appealing when you look at the drawings, although I think that the drawings are more important than pretty pictures because they tell you everything about the pattern. And again, you don't have to translate anything. Everything is translated for you. It's only €5, and you've got everything you need. The instructions are okay. They're not great. I mean, the translation is not perfect, but I don't mind. They're just brief. They're quite unusual. They're quite trendy, they're quite modern, they're quite fashionable, I think. And they have some interest. They remind me of Vogue patterns. But if you are like me and Vogue patterns never, ever, 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 ever fit you, you have to spend years trying to adjust them to your non-standard figure. You might like La Forme because they've got the same sort of solutions. So they've got a lot of details, a lot of tweaks and quirky things. I made this one, but they will make it fit you. They've got not a lot of ease added to the pattern. So again, measure yourself properly and don't lie and choose the right size. I like this shirt dress. It's really nice, I think. And it's just the sleeves that are different, but I think they make a difference. There is a lot of pleating here. I like it. It's really nice. And how does it look like on a real person? Because we like looking at real people. It looks very nice indeed on a real person. This real person is quite model looking, so maybe it just looks very nice on her because she's nice looking. But I think, well, I like it. Well, anyway, so La Forme is one of my favorites, my personal favorite Russian websites. That's La Forme again. But this one is definitely my favorite. It might not be for everyone, and this is in Russian, so you would have to translate. If you're on Firefox, then Control-Shift-3, and you are translating, but I'm not going to translate because I've got a lot of applications open. And it's going to be slow. I'm going to look at the ones for women. I'm going to close my Google Translate if you don't mind, because I want to show you the pictures and I want to look at dresses because women like dresses. I love them. I love the fact that there are so many. And then look at the prices, and this is not a joke. I've bought a lot from Shkatulka. So I just think that it's brilliant. 75 rubles, 75 rubles is about 70p or something. It really is nothing. But even better, when you go to your chosen dress, first check if they have it in your size in the free to try version. So they say it here. Okay, I'm going to translate it because you're not going to believe me. But in every single pattern, you have this thing when they give you some sizes for free. Some sizes in some height ranges. That's why I love this website. Oh, come on, translate. So just to check, you've got some patterns available for free. Size 40 for 161 centimeters to 165. 5 for height, 161, 165 centimeters. Then you've got size 56 for free for somebody taller, so 176, 180. Then you've got size 68 for a slightly shorter person. So 3 sizes for free. They don't have seam allowances, as they say here, so you have to add your seam allowances. And as far as I know, they don't have an option of adding the seam allowances. The instructions are not printed with the pattern. So what you would have to do is, there is this section when they give you the instructions, you don't have to buy a pattern. You can just read the instructions and see if you understand how to make the pattern and then decide whether you want to buy the pattern or not. So you've got the terrible, terrible translation, but very good pictures, and you can guess a lot of things. When they say back to children, the original text says to diet, so 2 details, 2 parts, and because dieti or whatever is children in Russian, they translate it into children. What you can do is if you speak another language, you can do that thing when you compare things. So you can check in various languages. So let's say that. Let's translate it to Norwegian, okay? And you can check if the children are still going to be there if you speak Norwegian. Sometimes it helps. If you speak more than one language, sometimes it helps because the translation into another language can be different. No, it's still children, so let's translate it into Polish. I think it's going to be the same. Because if they translate that as dzieci or dzieci or whatever, it is going to be the same in every language, but just... That is very clear. I am Polish, so that is my language, so I do understand it best. Again, children. No. Children. No, it is funny. But, okay, even if you... Let's go back to English. Even if you encounter this sort of problem, you can probably guess from the context or from the pictures And if you can't, well, just don't buy the pattern, because as you see, you can see the instructions before you buy the pattern. And if the pattern is free, like free for 3 sizes here, you don't have to spend any money on it. So it's, well, I think we can live with that, with the bad translation. Well, also, before is not before, it's the front. Okay, I have to admit that as much as I love this website, the translation is absolutely crap. Sorry. But you've got so many beautiful patterns, and for each of them, some sizes are free. So I've got this pattern, and I don't remember if it was free for me, but I think it might have been. Yeah, size 40, which I am size 40, and I probably bought the free, I probably got the free one. So if you go to height, what was it? Let's say that this is the size that is free, 40 for 166, right? And then you go to the basket, and you will see that your size, your chosen size, is free. That's partner, right? That is true for every single pattern. You've got 2 or 3 sizes that are free. Also, there is this lady, because I've just remembered, she's got a YouTube channel, or she is a host of a YouTube channel, Jaženština. I'm going to add it in the description box, because when I say it, you probably have no idea what I'm saying. She makes videos with tutorials for some of the patterns. So if you see, and I'm not going to find it now, but there are quite a few that she's made, and her instructions, her videos, yes, she speaks Russian or Ukrainian, I don't remember which, but her instructions are so clear. It's more like tutorials for beginners. So she shows you everything slowly. It might be too slow for some people, but if you want to see precisely how it's done, she's brilliant. I remember that she made some videos for, and I'm looking for the pattern that I know that she made a video tutorial for. But obviously now I'm not going to be able to find it at all. Anyway, even the patterns that you need to pay for are like 70p or something. So it really is, this is free. This is free for most sizes, I think. Or if, okay, it was free. It's sort of free for 4 sizes. I thought that one was free for all the sizes, but no, I don't remember. This video is going to be too long because I got excited and I'm showing you everything. I wanted to show you that some of them have videos, but I can't find the videos now. So I think you are going to have to believe me. Okay, I found the one that I know the lady I was talking about had a tutorial for. And it should be somewhere here. It's here. So that's the name of the YouTube channel, Jaženština, I, woman. And I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that, but I'm just going to show you that she's got a YouTube channel. So see, you've got the tutorial, and she's extremely kind of slow, but I don't want to sound offensive. Slow in the sense that she shows you everything in real time, so all the details, a lot of close-ups. She probably describes everything in the most excellent manner, but you would have to understand Russian. However, because she's so thorough, you don't need to understand Russian to enjoy her videos, because everything is shown, every single tiny little detail and movement and everything. Right. Okay, this is going to be the last one because I think the video is far too long as it is. So it's Elena Patikova, because the website, it is in Russian, but I think the website is very clear and it's more for young people, more sporty. There are loads and loads of Russian websites which are more jersey or casual or streetwear type of patterns. But I'm going to show you this one because I think marketing-wise, so the website is really good. It's easy to navigate. And of course, you can translate everything. And I think this is something that is also easy to make. These patterns have more interest. So again, have more details that are like sporty casual, but with something extra, which is appealing for me. I like things like that. They're not difficult to make. They're probably aimed at the younger audience, people who are perhaps learning to sew, or young girls who sew. Again, I think this is pretty easy to buy as well. As far as I remember, she had some free buttons, but maybe not. For children. Oh, we've got some free buttons. Always check if there are any free buttons. These are reduced 75 rubles. But I'm pretty sure that this one is free. This one is free. So underwear. This is an adult lady. I thought she was a child when I first saw it. This is free as well. This is 100 rubles. 100. So either reduced price or free buttons are in this section. When I say in this section, you can translate it. So I know that it says for women free, but if you don't believe me, you can click on Control-Shift-3 and it translates everything. So women's free. Then you go to buttons, free for men, baby free. Oh, free babies, free for babies. I've got this one because it's free. I haven't made it yet, but it's free, so I have it. I'll tell you when I do that. Is that enough for today? If that's something that interests you, I can make more videos about other Russian pattern companies. There are so many that it's just impossible to make a video with even half of them. But if you want to go through the lesser known, because I do use the ones that are very popular, so you probably know them already, or you might know them already. But if you want some other ones that are not that well known, let me know and I can get through some more. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot when you like my videos or you comment on my videos. I would be very happy to read your comments, and I would be very happy if you liked the video. Thank you very much for watching and see you soon. Bye.